Level 1, the survivor. If you're trying to do Japan on 30 bucks a day, you aren't a traveler. You're a person having a very long, very polite crisis. This is the lowest level. At this price point, you aren't staying in a hotel. You aren't even staying in a hostel. You are living in an internet cafe. In 2026, a night pack at a place like Netmaru or Customa Cafe costs about 2,500 yen. That's roughly $17. For that, you get a cubicle with a computer, a mat on the floor, and free soda. It sounds cool for about 10 minutes until you realize you can hear the guy in the next booth breathing. Your food situation is even worse. You have about $12 left for the day. That buys you 3 onigiri rice balls and maybe a cup of noodles. You spend your time hovering around the discount section of the Lawson convenience store at 8 p.m., waiting for the staff to put the half-off stickers on the leftover bento boxes. You're the guy walking 6 miles because a $2 train ticket feels like a luxury you can't afford. You see the temples from the outside because the 500 yen entry fee is basically your dinner budget. You're in Japan, sure, but you're mostly just tired and hungry. You can survive on level 1, but you'll come home needing a vacation from your vacation. Level 2, the hustler. The hustler has moved up in the world. You've upgraded to a capsule hotel. These cost about 5,000 yen or $35. It's a plastic tube in a room with 50 other tubes. It's cleaner than the internet cafe, and you get a locker for your stuff, but it's still basically a bunk bed for adults who like claustrophobia. The hustler is all about the salaryman diet. You eat at places like Yoshinoya or Matsuya. These are beef bowl chains. For 600 yen, about $4, you get a bowl of rice, some thin meat, and a soup. It's fast, it's salty, and it's actually pretty good. You have enough money for a subway pass now. You spend about $8 a day on the train. You're still checking your bank app every hour, but you can afford to go inside one museum or one temple. You're still being cheap, but you aren't starving. You spend your nights in the common room of the capsule hotel, talking to other people who are also trying to figure out how to spend as little money as possible. You're seeing the sights, but you're doing it at high speed because you're always worried about the next cost. Level 2 is doable, but your back will remember this trip for the next 10 years. Level 3, the smart traveler. This is the sweet spot. This is where you actually start to enjoy Japan without feeling like a failure. For about $70, you're staying in a business hotel like APA or Toyoko Inn. The room is tiny. If you open your suitcase, you can't open the door. But it's yours. You have a private bathroom, a desk, and a TV. Most importantly, you have a door that locks. This is the level where the architecture matters. You spend $30 a day on food. That means a cheap breakfast, a $10 ramen lunch at a shop with a vending machine, and a $20 dinner at an izakaya, a Japanese pub. You can finally afford a beer with your meal. You use a Suica card for the trains and don't panic when the balance drops below $10. You've learned that the best things in Japan are the lunch sets. You go to a fancy-looking place at 1 p.m. and get the same food that costs $50 at night for only $15. You're smart. You're hitting the big spots like the Shibuya Crossing and the Kyoto Shrines, and you're paying the entry fees without crying. You aren't rich, but you aren't desperate. You're the person who knows that the best view in Tokyo is actually the free one at the government building. Level 3 is the perfect balance. You're seeing 90% of the country for 20% of the price. Level 4, the comfort seeker. At this level, you're done with the tiny rooms. You're spending about $100 a night for a superior room or a newer boutique hotel. You have enough space to actually walk around your bed. This traveler doesn't just want to see Japan, they want to be comfortable while they do it. You've budgeted for the Shinkansen, the bullet train. A one-way trip from Tokyo to Kyoto costs about $90. While the lower levels are taking the 9-hour night bus to save money, you're zooming across the country in 2 hours while eating a fancy bento box you bought at the station. Your food budget is about $50 a day. You aren't just eating for fuel anymore, you're eating for the experience. You're booking a table at a nice tonkatsu place, or trying the revolving sushi bars where the plates are actually high quality. You're buying the nice snacks. You're going to the themed cafes, the ones with the owls or the cats, and you aren't worried about the $20 cover charge. You're the traveler who has a backup fund for when it rains and you just want to take a taxi instead of walking to the station. You have a plan, and that plan includes a lot of convenience. Level 4 is what we call a real vacation. No stress, just vibes and good food. Level 5, the Soft Life Traveler. The Soft Life Traveler has moved past hotels and into experiences. You're staying at places like the Mimaru hotels, which are basically luxury apartments, or high-end hotels in the Ginza district. You're spending $150 a night. You don't carry your own luggage anymore. You use the Takyuban service. For about $20, a guy picks up your suitcase and sends it to your next hotel across the country. You travel with just a small backpack and a coffee. This is the level where you realize that your time is more valuable than your money. Food is a major event now. You have an $80 daily food budget. You're doing the omakase lunch where the chef chooses your sushi. You're buying the $30 perfect melon from the department store basement because you want to know what the hype is about. You're taking taxis for those 10-minute drives that would have been a 30-minute walk. You're buying high-end souvenirs, real ceramics, fancy green tea, and clothes from shops where the staff bows when you leave. You aren't just a tourist, you're a guest. Everything is smooth. Everything is easy. You're living the dream, but you're paying for every second of it. Final answer? Level 5 gets you spoiled. Going back to a normal hotel will feel like a punishment. Level 6, the Flexer. Welcome to the Flexer level. You aren't just staying in Japan, you're owning it. You're staying at the Park Hyatt or the Ritz-Carlton. Your room costs $400 a night. You have a floor-to-ceiling window that looks over the entire city. When you take the bullet train, you aren't in the regular car. You're in the green car, the first-class section where it's dead silent and the seats are huge. You spend your days shopping in the high-end districts and your nights at bars where the cover charge alone could pay for a survivor's entire week. Your dinners are $300 Wagyu beef marathons. You're eating meat that was basically massaged to death. You have a private guide for a day because you don't want to figure out which train to take. You want to see the real Japan, but you want to do it from the back of a luxury van. You're buying the limited edition sneakers and the $500 denim jackets. This is the level where you start to forget what things actually cost. You just tap your card and things happen. It's a beautiful world, but you're very far away from the actual reality of the country. Level 6 is incredible, but your credit card is going to need a therapist when you get home. Level 7, the Architect. This is the peak. This is the level we talk about on this channel. The Architect doesn't just spend money, they spend it to create a reality that shouldn't exist. You're staying at a Hoshinoya or a top-tier ryokan, a traditional inn. These can cost $1,000 a night. You have a private hot spring in your room. Your meals are kaiseki, 10-course traditional dinners that are basically edible art. You don't have a schedule. You have a concierge who makes the impossible happen. You want to meet a real sumo wrestler? They make a call. You want a private tour of a temple at midnight? It's done. At this level, you're spending $1,000 a day or more. You aren't just a traveler. You are an architect of luxury. You're seeing a version of Japan that most locals don't even see. You're flying domestic flights instead of taking trains because it's faster. You're buying art. You're eating at 3-star Michelin restaurants where the chef only cooks for 6 people a night. This isn't just a trip, it's a masterpiece. You've moved past the cost of things and into the value of things. You know exactly what you're paying for, and you're getting the best version of it. Level 7 is the ultimate goal, but you better have a very good job. So where do you fit in? Are you the guy in the net cafe with a sore neck? Or the guy in the private hot spring with the 10-course dinner? There is no right answer, but there is a wrong way to do it. The biggest mistake you can make is trying to live a level 5 life on a level 2 budget. That's how you end up miserable. Japan is a machine. If you don't know how to work the machine, it will work you. Choose your level, build your budget, and for the love of everything, stay away from the $10 melons unless you've reached level 5. In our next video, we're going to break down the real cost of Switzerland, which is basically Japan, but for people who hate their money even more. Like this video if it helped you plan, and subscribe to stop surviving your trips. Start architecting them. I'll see you at the next destination.